Today I would like to talk with you about journaling. To me, journaling is very important, but I think that journaling should be a part of any relationship if you have a DS dynamic. Because I think that journaling is giving you so much insight in the other. And it's for submissive, it's wonderful because it gives you space and time to look into what's really going on inside. When you're talking with your Dom, first of all, you won't have the time to properly express yourself and to really think about what's going on. But the main thing is also that there's often always a little voice in the back of your head that thinks about what he's going to say about it. And the point is, if you're journaling, he's not able to react immediately. You can think about it. I'm going to discuss with you also how the Dom should react to it. If he's reading it, which I think he should. But journaling is just, it's a wonderful way just to express yourself, to find out why you're emotional about something, what's bugging you. I think journaling is also wonderful because it gives the Dom insight in what the submissive is up to, especially when you're in a long distance relationship. But even if you're together, there's always a space for journaling. My master started, I think, in 2018, so it's already 3 years ago. I couldn't reach him for 3 weeks, and we had no clue what was going to happen and how we would come out of it. And he told me to start journaling. So he told me just every day, write me a report. It was called a report back then. And he just told me, I want to hear from you. What are you grateful for? Were there things that could be improved today, in your daily life? And were there things that could be improved in our relationship also that you spotted? Did you learn something new? Did you learn about your submission? I mean, I had, for those 3 weeks, I had certain rituals that I needed to do. He gave me assignments. So there was a lot of connection between us, even when he wasn't there. And the journaling was a wonderful way to be able to talk to him, even when he wasn't there. So for me, that was wonderful. And those 3 weeks got me actually in the habit of reporting every night. So I'm still doing it every day now for over 3 years. And it's very precious for me, and there's nothing coming in between it. Should you use it? I think you should. If you're a submissive, it will give you the time and space to organize your thoughts, to find out what you really love, find out if something is bugging you. You have the time to dive into it. In another video, I'm going to share with you something that's called the truth process, and that's wonderful. And it's something that you can definitely use in your journaling too, or you can do it separately. That's up to you. But for you, it's definitely, it's going to give you so much insight, and it's so much fun to read back. When I read back the journals that I wrote at the beginning, I mean, I was so in love and happy, and the relationship was everything. And I was struggling with so much because we still needed to shape our relationship. And I mean, we don't have like a standard relationship. My master is in a relationship with somebody else. We needed to figure out a way that we could have a relationship that wouldn't interfere with his relationship with his girlfriend. And that was, for me, was challenging. I wasn't used to it. I was used to be the control freak in the controlling person in the relationship. So I say jump and you jump. And now it was the other way around. So there was so much that I had to deal with in the beginning. And then for me, the journaling was wonderful. Also for the dominant, I think for the dominant, journaling is fantastic. The journaling of the submissive. In my world, it wouldn't make sense if my Dom would journal. To us, our dominant and submissive relationship is all about caring, nurturing, letting me grow. He is challenging me in the ways that I needed to become the most free version of myself. Our relationship is all about freedom. And for that, my master uses my journals. Whenever he reads it and he sees something that I'm struggling with, this is something that he will take and he will use it and create an assignment for it to challenge me on it, or we just have a discussion. there are several ways that we can discuss it, and he uses the journals to find out about also my fantasies, my desires, what I'm scared of, my deepest fears, everything that could be used by him to let me grow, he's using it. I love that about it. And also, for me, it's a symbol of trust. I'm sharing my deepest thoughts with him. It's my diary, and I'm sending it to him. That's, for me, is a major symbol of trust. That's all one of the things that I like. Now, how do you use it? First of all, if you're writing a journal, there is a couple of things that you can use, that you can put into. There are two main categories. One category is the normal stuff, like the daily things that happened, what you're struggling with in your work, with people. Doesn't really matter, just the things that you would like to share, that you need to process, and that therefore you write it. The struggles that you had, no matter what, how you dealt with it, what you learned today, what didn't go well. In my journal, I always have to list 10 things that I'm grateful for this day. It will get you into a grateful mindset. Ending your day in a grateful mode with sharing your gratefulness, it's going to change your life if you start that. I mean, this is something that I could recommend to anyone, not just subs. That this is something that I definitely recommend. That's the normal part, so to say. There is also another part, and that's about your submission. But I do understand that it might not be always appropriate or just adding value to talk about it. But I think it's something that you definitely need to have in it, to think about it, whether you want to talk about it or not. So what I do is, how I use my journal for it is, for instance, how did I experience my submission today? Were there things that were turning me on? I always have to put that in my journal. And why? Are there specific things that I liked how I experienced our relationship? Is there something that can be improved in my relationship? So these questions are, to me, are important that I incorporate into my journal. Also for this one, it always ends with a gratefulness piece. So there are gratefulness things for it. The gratefulness is actually for both of them. So I end with the gratefulness things. I'm writing down 10 things that I'm grateful for, and those are 10 things that I can be grateful for him, or for my day, or for anyone in my life anyway. So I definitely recommend journaling for anyone, especially if you're in the beginning of a relationship. It depends on your relationship, how you want it, and how often you want to do it. If you're in a long distance relationship, I think have a look if you can find an app that you can use to share your documents with. If you're using Mac stuff, Apple stuff, you can use Notes, and you can put a lock on it, so only you and your dominant can read it. We do it like I'm just writing my master an email, and I use I have a mail address that I'm only using for communication with him, and he has a similar email address that he's only using for communication with me. So, and since I always have to report to him, he will always check it the day after. That's about journaling. I had a huge journaling project, and it's called a book. I wrote a book about my life story. It's called Sex, Truth and Freedom. It's all about how I found my freedom in my BDSM relationship. It's like 50 Shades of Grey, and Eat, Pray, Love slept together and made a baby, and then my book came out. So have fun and play with passion.